is cowardly. It's infinitely better if you just don't even entertain this stuff at all. You don't bring it up. You don't get into it. You don't throw your hat in the ring. It's all copy paste too. It's all ridiculous. Shame on Mutahar. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So this is a bit personal news, but also simultaneously not so personal news because it like dovetails into conversations that I've had already. Last night I watched Noah Samson's latest video. His latest video was titled, I forget what it was. I think it was the YouTubers who backed the genocide. And I posted about it on my Instagram and I said, hey, this is a really good video. You guys should watch it because I think it is a really good video. It's a really informative video. It's not just like drama. I know that people will look at it and go, oh, that's just a drama video. It's not. It actually carefully details all of the ways in which Israel has facilitated this genocide in Gaza, and not only does it feature all of that, but it also then shows the many ways in which a lot of like centrist slop tubers who have a lot of prominence, especially as a collective, like who have a lot of range amongst a broad audience of relatively apolitical people who aren't really paying close attention to stuff, basically, those guys, I think those guys taking this like nihilistic centrist position on Israel by never really talking about Israel directly or never really talking about like the genocide and the things that have taken place, but instead covering it from the angle of like drama and what content creators are saying and how the content creators that are on the pro-Palestinian side being bad, like that, I think plays a very sinister and cynical role in also doing propaganda. And I think people need to understand that. So it goes beyond drama. It's just like, if you just simply cast it aside as drama, you miss the forest for the trees. It's important for people to recognize exactly what was going on there. I had covered this before. I covered Mutahar's like statements about this before. I didn't even know he had made one. Most of the time, a lot of content creators who are in like the tech space or in like random spaces, like they don't necessarily come out and make like big, bold, declarative statements about their politics or ongoing issues. But I think one of the ways in which like Keemstar adjacent drama slop YouTubers engage in this issue is by taking an even more sinister approach where they have no interest in understanding the actual impact, the actual issue, and instead they have all the interest in farming it and basically saying what their position is without actually saying what their position is. And I think that that is what a lot of these guys did. Some of them obviously openly and actively said they were pro-genocide, like Destiny. Other Destiny writers also played along with that. And then there's like, someone like Mutahar who did the lightest version of this, basically. The only impact that he had was to say, I'm apolitical, both sides are kind of crazy, but the pro-Palestinian side in America, they're so bad.
I think that there is an actual case of genocide, and there's an actual case of attack that goes towards the Palestinian people. I think there's very serious situations that go around the world. Now, at the same time, these are situations that involve, a group of people, Muslims and Jews, that have effectively been at each other's throats for not
one could say that the Palestinians are experiencing what could be considered the first steps of contextually appropriate framing of genocide, but also, Jews and Muslims, they've just been at it for centuries.
Now, again, I don't want to jump and make this like a super political video because, again, I'm not equipped to even discuss this kind of stuff, but I am...
You're 30 minutes in! What are you doing? You can't say that 30 minutes into a video! You aren't equipped to have this conversation. That's insane, dude. It comes out, I can't be wrong, but this expert should know better. I am right, even though I'm stupid. Delirious and insane, right? There is no middle ground when it comes to genocide, obviously, as you guys know. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because it ties perfectly back to all of the deplatforming efforts that are taking place right now online against people who have criticized Israel. And you're basically joining in on that pile-on when your only output in terms of talking about this genocide is to simply say the pro-Palestinian guys are actually really bad. Anyway, So he had this to say this morning. I get watching other people's videos is all you're really good at, but try vetting out slander before promoting Hassan. I have never defended or backed the Israeli genocide on innocent Gazans. Never will I ever. To which I responded with, in your only vid on Gaza, you admit to not knowing about politics. You try to cover Israel-Palestine as drama slop for centrist audience. You defend Asmongold for inferior culture / genocide comment, then attack pro-Palestinian voices. So I guess you just wanted the ad revenue then. I then followed it up by saying, Muta is a particularly insane case because he's a victim of the same right-wing mobs he often farms in his videos. He literally left Twitter because of the vicious racism. And here he is back again, only to farm more. Went on Hajj, they hate you more than they hate me, which is true. He literally had to leave Twitter, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs when a brown Muslim content creator has to leave a social media platform because people are so vicious and so relentlessly attacking him, not on the virtues of his thoughts or his ideas or his opinions either, just simply because he's Indian. Okay? It's completely unacceptable. It's disgusting. I've talked about it quite extensively. Now, having said that, part of the reason why he came back was to unironically, play the role of one of the good ones. That's what's so crazy about it. Like he will act like he will say, I don't have a political opinion, but then also turn around and demonstrate a political opinion that, of course, is trying to position himself as like a centrist person. Okay? As a centrist person, angling it from the perspective of drama. To which he also responded, by the way, in your video on Gaza. He said, yes, I do admit to not being an expert on the topic. Didn't cover it as drama since it isn't one. Serious situation with dead people and attacks happening every day. I just don't downplay and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. Also didn't defend Asman in vid. Now, what's interesting about that response is it basically demonstrates the exact thing that I'm talking about. It also is a lie. He did cover it as simply drama because I responded back to him saying, I didn't cover it as drama with this tweet. Okay. Yeah, I don't do this, and then ends up doing it. I responded with, we were a year into a genocide here. This was your only video on the topic. It downplayed and ran defense for Asman's takes, while the bulk of your commentary revolved around how evil the pro-Palestinian streamers were from clips you compiled off snark subreddits. 990,000 views, though. And then I said, just going to leave this here again. For 16 months, there's been a genocide going on in Gaza. Israel has the same ambitions for the West Bank, which has been under apartheid occupational rule since 1967. If your advocacy is slandering and deplatforming pro-Palestinian voices, just admit you love Israel and its genocide. We know, right? Yes, I gave it a self-like this morning. So I was retweeting it. So my point here is that these guys, I think, thought that they can get away with doing this. And for much of this time, for much of the time frame in my coverage on Israel-Palestine, I haven't really hyper focused on like a bunch of these drama slob tubers. I think Bad Empanada has done a decent job. Bad Empanada has done a decent job of like going after some of these guys, at least like by breaking down the lack of arguments that they're posting on their videos, right? Because normally you would think like, okay, these guys don't have any sort of serious interest or whatever. Why are you talking about them? They're silly. They're completely. They're irrelevant, right? Like real things are happening in the world, and these guys are relevant. They're not, because as a collective, they have the capacity to basically inform a lot of uninformed people. And what are they using? What are they doing with the influence that they have? They're deluding people into thinking suspiciously that all of the pro-Palestinian people, all the pro-Palestinian advocates are just like scary racist monsters or whatever. They're scary racist monsters that are undermining. Like that right there, didn't cover it as drama since it isn't one. I just don't downplay and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. That right there is literally, that right there is a political statement. And it is one devoid of any information whatsoever. And yes, in terms of Mutahar, he's an interesting person because I used to talk to him all the time. I used to get help from him on like Steam Deck related stuff. And then he started orbiting Destiny around the same time that Destiny was like becoming super pro Israel. and he noticeably was quiet on this issue. You know, he had more tweets about this. Not sure what he meant by your kind, though. Maybe you know. Yeah, like, you are not pro free speech. You're not an honest person, and all you care about either in this situation, all you care about is either making money. Okay, all you care about is either making money and farming this, as like angling this in the least contentious way possible, and make money off the backs of people dying, babies getting murdered every single day by Israel. It's either something that you're not genuinely interested in, or B, it's worse, you actually do like Israel, but you're too ashamed to admit it. And I don't think he likes Israel and he's too ashamed to admit it. I think he's just like not very knowledgeable and you know, wanted to make a statement about it, but take a very centrist position. And because he can't say something directly about Israel or Gaza, because then everyone's going to eat his ass alive, all he does is go after people who do demonstrate the courage to talk about these issues. Meanwhile, all he does is basically farm clout and money off of it. Yeah. It's almost as if the bulk of the commentary matched what the video was titled / centered about. Twitch allowing violent and unfiltered rhetoric from your camp on its platform. The clips were actually sourced from the creators who streamed them. No, they weren't. You took clips that were directly out of context from Destiny's subreddit. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's okay. You don't have to admit it, but we know that that's what a lot of slop tubers do. It's not just Destiny's subreddit either. They literally, most people that make these kinds of like drama-centered videos unironically just source it off Reddit. That's it. They literally go off of Reddit comments.
Terry Sphere made videos that signal boosted these allegations to millions of viewers. Most of these videos used the same clips, many of them directly citing this smear campaign's website.
There's a website known as danclancysucks.com.
Or there's also a website that's been created called danclancysucks.com that goes over it all.
Another website, Advertise on Twitch, shows a collection of ads playing before the dishonestly framed clips we've looked at, and the contact information of the companies is provided. It auto-loads a preset email with just one click, allowing participants...
Yeah, by the way, I don't even have ads. I don't run ads. They would literally go so far as to like show ads that people that I was hosting were running. That's the game out here. That is the level of research that most people dedicate to T channels and drama channels in general. But yeah, it's notice how there is no statement here, okay? Notice how there is no like evidence here. The evidence is Twitch is allowing violent and unfiltered rhetoric, or you're downplaying. Like, did this person read the UN report? Did he even watch like the Sheryl Sandberg atrocity propaganda flick and then develop his opinion on this issue? Did he read any Israeli newspapers or American newspapers on the matter? And that's how he came up with this idea that like mass taken place, because he read the New York Times screams without words propaganda piece that was immediately undermined, by the way. Like, did he do any of that? Is that why he has this position? No, he has no position. He's just repeating something he saw on Reddit. That's my point. And that's what's really frustrating about this issue, is that these guys try to maintain this like nihilistic centrist perspective, but they constantly attack one side while also lightly criticizing the other side. Here, look at this. Look at the situation. Asmongold quite literally said Palestinians are inferior culture and genocide is appropriate.
Everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
Ooh, whoa, god damn. Bro, what the holy dude, he went in. He's ooh, god damn. I don't know where the full clip is. I guess it's so what the who did he say? Did he say the Palestinians were inferior cultures or something? I mean, like, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody should sit there and like, oh, I guess a whole group of people deserve to be genocided. Like, at the end of the day, that doesn't make you any better.
Damn, thanks, man. That's a good take, right? That's a good take. He's obviously being very critical of Asmongold here. Is it matching what Asmongold is saying? Not necessarily.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't really.
This is the problem that I have with so many centrists, okay? They will always defend free speech on the principles when it comes to like some of the most insane right-wing you've ever heard, okay? Nazis protesting on college campuses. Not saying Mutahar is doing this. I'm just broadly saying a lot of centrists, a lot of fence sitters, whether it be people like Tim Pool who presented themselves as such, or a lot of these drama slop tubers, they will only talk about free speech when it's like video game is getting smaller, or when it's like not being able to say a slur on a social media platform. That's the only thing that is like the defense of free speech. When there is an actual issue of the highest political severity, a genocide that is ongoing, and there are active deplatforming initiatives, they will literally stand right there and advocate for that deplatforming to take place. They will then never turn around and do commentary on a severe violation of the First Amendment, like with the Mahmoud Khalil situation, where the American government decided and openly stated that they have no evidence that this person had violated the law at all, that they had actually black-bagged them from his house with the goddamn Gestapo from Columbia University and shipped them to Louisiana overnight with the purpose of revoking his green card and deporting him only because he engaged in a protest that they did not like. He didn't violate any rules. He didn't violate any laws. He was the lead negotiator with Columbia University. Think about that, man. Like, I'm done with this. If these guys had any sort of honesty, any sort of integrity, any sort of genuine care for freedom of speech, for example, freedom of expression, they would probably spend a good deal of their time criticizing the Trump administration. He's also double cut because he's Canadian on top of everything else. Because like Donald Trump is actively talking about annexing Canada too. That's the other side of the story. But hey, what do I know?
Make you any better than the shitty party out there? But I assume he's probably referring, if I'm being very charitable, to like
why he's being very charitable to Asman. Was that same charitably extended to someone like myself or someone like Frogan? No, it wasn't. Because being a centrist only means, or being apolitical only means you always end up on one side of the issue, and that side is the right-wing side.
Like gay people who like ally with that. It's like, okay, there's got to be a longer clip than this, dude. Like I feel like there's at least like 30 seconds from the beginning that I'm missing here that I just have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you what his take was on.
But like any other motherfucker, you're doing them. You're, oh my God, I want my Camaro, no student loans. F you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back in America.
Oh, how out of touch do you gotta be? How privileged do you gotta be to sit there on your ass in California and just badmouth the people that take a bullet for your freedoms every single day? The most outrageous you'll ever hear. Like downright, just hateful rhetoric.
Yeah, now, didn't need context for that, baby. No context necessary. Oh, hell yeah. Loud and proud, USA. We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. And tell Uncle Sam, you're a man. Statue of Liberty came shaking up his, and the whole world came crashing down on me.
Now, obviously, the people who are in the military were like, whoa, we're getting that Camaro. I have never in a million years met somebody, and I've met...
That's the funniest thing, is just like, because the Camaro line is such a funny meme. In the video, he defends Asma by saying he's probably talking about extremist Muslims. I know. When he gets the full context of the situation, this is how he responded to it, okay? Like, we covered this before. I covered this on the stream because I couldn't believe it. Like, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, damn, dude, like, that's how hard you want to suck off, like, alt-right weirdos, like, loser-ass dudes. That's how hard you want to suck these losers off? You want to farm them that hard? I get it. You're like a tech YouTuber, but it's crazy.
I don't want to jump and make this like a super political video because, again, I'm not equipped to even discuss this kind of stuff, but I am...
You're 30 minutes in! What are you doing? Yeah, that's what's so frustrating. It's like, dude, if you're not knowledgeable on this issue that you know is a very serious issue, okay, then why the are you making a video on the issue from the framework of drama while also simultaneously coming down harder on the pro-Palestinian advocates than you do on the side that said genocide is fine, the culture is inferior? And then turn around and say, well, they've just been fighting each other for a millennia. It's bullshit. It's not correct. It's incorrect information. It is ahistorical. It is ahistorical, and it unironically feeds into this false notion that, like, you know, it's just Jews and Muslims fighting. Like, get out of here. I can't stand these dudes, man. Like, my point is this, okay? A lot of people will yell, or a lot of people, I think, in the beginning, in the first couple of months especially, but like definitely over the last 16, 17 months, have been yelling at their content creators to make a statement about this, okay? And it's understandable. You want to apply pressure to the government. You want to keep protesting. You want to get the word out. You want to bring awareness to the situation. And in that process, you want your content creators that you love, content creators with a lot of influence, to come out and make a statement. And you can say, like, I think genocide is unconscionable. I'm not very well equipped to talk about this. That's one thing, right? But like, the moment that you come out and actually try to do this cowardly thing where you're like, I'm pro-Palestine, but I won't really say it fully, but I think genocide is bad. But also all of these pro-Palestinian advocates, in an effort, while there is a deliberate effort to try and deplatform every single pro-Palestinian voice, okay, turning around and being like, yeah, these guys are too radical for my taste. Yeah, you are taking a position. You're taking a cowardly position. And I am infinitely more charitable to people if they admit that they're coming at this from a position of not being knowledgeable, but then they step aside. They don't try to like enter the fray of political commentary with no info whatsoever and then turn around and say, I don't really know anything, but these guys seemingly are really radical. Well, if you don't know anything, then shut up. Why are you taking a bold stance like this then? You know? Do you think that the 8-second clips that you posted are reflective of my actual commentary on this issue? I've done hundreds of videos with actual professors, journalists, victims of genocide. It's so ridiculous that like all of that is just inconsequential. Israeli academics, Arab academics, like, what are we talking about? What are we doing here? And then it's just, all it takes is like one soul to be like, yeah, this seems radical to me. Pisses me off so much. It's like, don't assume a bold stance like this. Don't take a bold stance like this. Seems like you have a firmly held conviction on the matter. These guys are too radical. When all is said and done, when the dust is settled, is that what you want your primary takeaway from this subject matter to be? We have a finite amount of time on this earth, okay? On God's green earth. We only have a limited amount of time here, okay? We are going to perish one day. In that finite amount of time, you and I, Mutahar and myself, we were fortunate enough and privileged enough to have a platform with profound influence, okay? Is that what you want your only takeaway to be from this moment? I'm not pro-Israel. You know, I don't think genocide is appropriate, but these people who are actually calling out this genocide are getting attacked, and I am joining the people that are attacking those people. It's ridiculous. It makes me so mad. It is so cowardly. All he could have done is maybe even shut up. Like, I don't know why he thinks he's dipping his toes back into this. I don't want to talk about that topic creator is pro-Israel. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Muta going after Twitch here when Destiny and Ethan started brigading advertisers together. Exactly. And it's also the kind of shit that like a lot of these apolitical content creators wouldn't stand for normally. Okay? It's a lot of stuff that these apolitical content creators normally wouldn't stand for if it was happening to any other content creator. You want to know what I mean by that? Like, if any other content, these guys were attacking Ethan when Ethan was like calling out Keemstar's advertisers because they were like, you can't the bag, you're gonna the bag for everybody. But hey, God forbid, dude, when deplatforming, you're always anti-deplatforming until it's a motherfucker who you don't like or is saying something that you don't actually like. I hate that. I hate how cowardly that shit is. Have some conviction, dude. Yeah, he's just he's just framing drama for views from his right-wing gamer audience. I don't think you should think too much on this. I'm not. I know that is the statement. I know that is what's going on. I don't like that. I don't like that these guys' only politics is basically so many slop tubers online. Their only frame of reference for politics is just like, this guy is an avatar for all things progressive. A lot of people hate him for that reason. I'm just going to shit on that guy. And it's a cowardly way to say your position without saying your position. Okay? Oh, I'm a liberal, but honestly, I don't really like this guy who is seemingly far too progressive for me. Guys, I'm one of the good ones. Come on, I'm a centrist. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see that is cowardly. It's infinitely better if you just don't even entertain this stuff at all. You don't bring it up. You don't get into it. You don't throw your hat in the ring. It's all copy paste too. It's all copy paste. It's all ridiculous. Shame on Mutahar. And he is like the least offensive person out of all of these. It's just very frustrating regardless. Yeah. Also, one final word on this whole thing. I don't understand why you bring up my Hajj while being the most Muslim cosplayer I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm such a Muslim cosplayer. What the fuck am I doing that's a Muslim cosplayer? It's Ramadan. I'm drinking coffee right now. I've never cosplayed being a Muslim, okay? I was born a Muslim to a Muslim family in a Muslim nation, and my opinions on Islam have evolved throughout time. Just because I defend Muslims and their right to practice their religion doesn't mean I'm a Muslim cosplayer. You know who's a Muslim cosplayer? Andrew Tate. That's a Muslim cosplayer. I've been pretty open about my perspective in terms of like how I view religion, my religion, and what I think of it all. I am culturally Muslim in the same way that like someone will say they're Jewish, they're culturally Jewish, or someone in America who is not really Christian at all will say they're culturally Christian. That's it. My existence, especially in the Western world, is a way to get Islamophobic Americans to understand that being Muslim doesn't necessarily mean that you're, strapping up your chest and yourself up while saying Allahu Akbar, because that was the primary way that these guys operated. They think every Muslim is like that. It has nothing to do with Islam. And the reason for why I do that is so that people are more understanding. The reason why I do that and the reason why I explain this every day is so that people don't come after you with Islamophobic nonsense. It's all good though. I will still obviously defend Mutahar against the psychotic racist attacks he has to withstand on a daily basis. But I will tell you, I will tell you right now, okay? Positioning yourself alongside Keemstar and all these drama slop tubers that will write 11 million articles about like, this is the day Hasan finally gets canceled, okay? Doing that shit is not going to save you from these people that literally think you are lesser than them because they're racist, okay? That's it. You will never be one of the good ones. Like, they will not see you as one of the good ones, okay? And yes, it is just popularity and money for a lot of people. This is the job. This is the bread and butter for a lot of people. What's your best video attacking the right wing? I'd love to check it out. Yeah, Hasanabi subscribes to leftist nonsense where everyone fits into categories. Everyone's ranked on a race-based hierarchy. Like, what the fuck is this person saying? Who is this person? This reply under his tweet literally proves your point. You are getting cooked. That's why you are getting cooked. That's what you get for not taking a clear stance. Oh my God. Normally us right-wingers would side with you, but you decide to attack us as well. So go yourself. Yeah, there you go. Like, this is it. This is the audience that you're farming actively. The reason why I'm talking about this is not just because of drama or because I'm like fighting back against people that are engaging in this like smear campaign. The reason why I'm talking about this is because there's also this like far-reaching consequence where a lot of these people that watch these guys see only one side of the story, a very falsely and narrowly focused, wrong-sided attitude, like wrong opinion on the matter from dudes that don't have any knowledge on the issue whatsoever, okay? And then their fan bases also develop the wrong opinions. Their fan bases develop like idiotic opinions. Like, that's why you hear so many people repeat these silly-ass takes left and right. Oh yeah, it's just like Muslims and Jews fighting, right? I don't get it. This Hasan guy and all these other pro-Palestinian content creators, they're all kind of radical, right?